This is your host, Swapnil Bhartiya, and welcome to TFiR Let's Talk. And today we have two guests from Linode, Joe Bower, Senior Manager for Customer Success, and Cassie Bubnis, Senior Manager for Customer Support at Linode. Joe, Cassie, it's great to have you both on the show.
Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
So first of all, tell us, a bit about what are these Stevie Awards all about, and what is their significance, not only just for Linode, but also for the industry and ecosystem?
The Stevie Awards for sales and customer service are super important to customer-facing teams and businesses all over the world. So this year saw 2,300 entries from 51 countries and pretty much every industry you can think of. We compete in the computer services category against some of the most well-known companies in the world. So receiving this level of recognition is extremely validating for us. Really exciting.
I think that for us, it's also just like a pride thing within the team, and very validating that everything that they put into this job is seen and understood by others, not only in our customer base, but also in our industry, and kind of recognized for that. So it's just also a little thing that we get to really feel good at the end of the day and look at the awards that we've won and say all of our hard work did that.
The best validation comes from your customers, but these awards kind of further validates the work that you folks are doing there. So can you also talk a bit about, what makes Linode's, approach to customer support different from a lot of other players? In the cloud, it's very popular word, or in the IT jargons, cattle versus pets. Everybody wants to have cattle, but the fact is, as a customer, I don't want to be cattle. I don't want to be a ticket number. I want to be treated as pet. So how does you approach your customers?
We often get asked what the secret sauce is, and I feel like it's kind of maybe a not surprising, but sort of surprising answer that we don't really have a secret sauce at Linode. We believe and really implement hiring good people who understand the value of what solid customer support is and what it means to actually do it and implement it. So we enable and empower our team from the day that they start with us all through their entire life cycle here at Linode. So whether they're in customer support or outside of customer support, we have a customer first attitude. And we do that by having core values, by delivering on our mission, and kind of allowing our team to make decisions in the moment for customers in their best interests. And I think that our culture also has a lot to do with it as well. We're a very relaxed team. We really believe in kind of approaching each other and with how would you approach somebody in your family? And we kind of apply that to how we approach customers. We will own when we're wrong. We will celebrate when a customer experience has gone right. And we really take it very personally. And so I think that that's kind of what makes us great. And I think Joe also has a little bit to add on this point for what makes us do what we do really well.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that popped out when thinking about this was that we really focus on meeting customers where they need us. So and how they need us. Their appropriate experience is super important to us. So our customers are very self-serve. They show up and they kind of want to use the service. If they're reaching out to us, 9 times out of 10, something has already gone wrong, that they couldn't get to their goal through the product without having to reach out to us. So we always kind of couch things in that the idea is to restore the customer back to that journey. If they have to reach out to us, it should be the best customer experience possible. But we don't want to make that kind of the centerpiece or the desired end state. We want to make sure that they can get to this stuff next time without having to reach out to us. So.
What's also unique, not maybe that unique about Linode, is that your target audience is more or less developer focused. But I have also talked to a lot of Linode users. There are big organizations who are using Linode, which also means that there are users who are tech savvy. Of course, if somebody is running a Linode instance, they are tech savvy, but then there are a lot of users who just want to run their website, which also means that the kind of support queries you get also come all the way from high-end Kubernetes, requests all the way to very basic, hey, I cannot upload my WordPress file. So, which also means that internally your teams need to be well versed with and to be handled and to be able to speak the same language that the customer is speaking.
100%. I think that that's why I love our team so much is, we have a really great mixture of people who came in very technical, who have benefited from kind of the culture that we have here and the softer skills maybe that we really like practice and preach, as well as the opposite. We do hire a lot of people who have not had the technical experience in their resume to maybe be able to support customers that we have on our platform. But we have so many resources within our training program, within mentorship, within coaching and long-term growth that really enables them to build those skills. So, whether you're starting at either end of the spectrum, the place where that meets in the middle is exactly where we want people to be. And I think that they do a really great job at it.
Linode's Tech Touch Customer Insight program won bronze for the best customer engagement initiative. Tell us what this program is all about and what makes it so great.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a perfect segue, kind of focusing on how we address the largest customers versus how we address, the $20 a month customer, or the $10 a month customer. The largest customers are traditionally a little more straightforward to support. They ask you for something and then you go tell Linode about it, and then we do it if we can. When you're talking about much smaller customers, it becomes a lot more of kind of a scientific approach that's called for. So what we've done with tips or T-tips, it's the Tech Touch Customer Insights program, or TIPS for short. We reach out to samples of customers and have 50 to 100 interviews per quarter we're aiming for. And we start to build up this bank of qualitative, really deep dive, hour-long interviews with small customers that typically wouldn't experience this type of, say-so over our platform. And then we match that with demographic data and large-scale surveying so that we can start to validate those deeper insights against larger buckets of customers and start to try and, measure impact and use those interviews as representative moments of larger customers' experiences. Then when we start to make those moves and use those insights in decision-making on our roadmap and things, we can measure whether it impacted that larger chunk of customers and that larger persona. And it's really how we're trying to drive the voice of those much smaller customers into our roadmap so that they're at the same volume or at the same level of importance as our largest customers. And we're doing it by, aggregating those customers' voices into something that's strategically important and able to be executed on.
So you folks have also won, a bronze for Customer Service Department of the Year. I mean, we just discussed about, how you folks work internally to help every, kind of customer. So tell us a bit about, we have very good kind of idea by now, but what kind of sets you apart from other players who also kind of were in the same category? Why is your, customer service department so unique?
So our 2022 entry was actually based off of the year that we had in 2021. And I think that it was actually a very difficult year for our customer support department. And we focused on that. So some of the challenges that we kind of came up against were we had a lot of rapid, unplanned for internal growth that we had to support in terms of headcount and hiring. We had an expansion of our customer base, which increased the volume of conversations that were kind of coming at us from all of our different support channels. And with both of those things, we were also rolling out some fantastic new initiatives in customer support. So we created a internship program with a local program called HopeWorks. We had a new customer feedback platform that was created to help better advocate for customer needs. And then we also built an all-hands support program for our entire company to help keep customer needs at the center of everything that we do. And we did all these things while maintaining or improving some of our biggest key performance indicators, which our CSAT score increased. which means that we made more customers happier than we ever did before, all while lowering the number of responses needed and lessening the overall amount of time that it takes in order to resolve customer issues. So, we focused on how we kind of sunk our teeth into those challenges and leveraged the expertise and talents of our team in order to be a better department coming into 2022 for our customers and for ourselves.
I mean, I have been tracking Linode for so long, and you folks consistently outrank hyperscalers like AWS, Google, Microsoft, and other players on other customer service rankings such as G2, TrustRadius, and PeerSpot. We talked about this earlier in the beginning, but that was more or less from the perspective of a customer, that how you help customers. But I just want to look at it from perspective of these ratings and rankings. Tell us a bit about what makes Linode's approach to customer service unique. What kind of secret sauce or not so secret sauce is there that makes your customers rank you so highly?
Totally. So I think it's a complicated thing to try to really nail down. But I do believe that the reason that we are observed as being really highly rated and good at what we do is because of the foundation of our team. Our core values, our main core value is to make customers happy and earn their trust. So everything that we do, that is at the heart of it. And so pretty much every interaction that a customer has with us, whether they're, super happy about something that we launched or something's going really well with their business based off of, the products that they're using on Linode, or completely opposite, they're really frustrated with what's going on. They're disappointed in something that we have provided or done. I think that we really look at everything within that sort of space through the lens of, okay, how do we build back the trust, or how do we keep this trust, and how do we make this customer happy at the end of the day? And anything that is beyond that really doesn't matter. We can throw as many things as we want at the wall. The only thing that sticks is if that customer believes that we have their best interests at heart. And so that's why those things really matter to us. And I think that is relevant to kind of the ratings that we get, that people do believe that we're not just out to see a score or to kind of have the end goal be, more money and not caring about what they actually need from us. We really do believe in being good people to them, so that way they can have business that, is as successful as ours is when we do that.
I think the only way you can scale and maintain quality at the level we're at and at the level we'll be next year and the year after that is to have a strong mission and core values, and then hire against those with people that agree with those and are bought in with what our mission truly is. That's the only way to reliably get good ratings. And when you have secret shoppers show up for the Stevie Awards or anything like that, you have to guarantee that every interaction is like that. There's no way to guess at which one will be the good one and which one will not be the good one. So you just have to make sure that everybody's bought in on that mission from day one, and hopefully that carries through and the customers respond to that.
Since you talk about next year, once again, it seems more or less like, that Linode is competing with itself, to further improve. You're not competing with others. So if I just ask you, hey, what are the things that you will further, you have kind of already polished the kind of experience that you offer to a customer, but what are the still areas that you're working on to further improve it?
I think that it's, we do what we do really well, but it's never good enough. Like you're saying, we're always competing against ourselves. And I think that when we look at it, we're sometimes a little bit too close to it. And so we can't necessarily always see our blind spots or our opportunities as well as others can. And so what we're doing is trying to really take the feedback that we've been given from, not only the Stevie judges going into next year and how we can improve our entries, but also obviously improve the work that we're doing in order to be able to submit really good entries. We definitely want to take their feedback to heart and kind of think about, okay, what's going to really make us stand out what are we doing within our industry? How do we measure up against our competitors? How do we exceed our competitors? Where are we falling behind? And what changes make sense for us and our customers to make? And what changes don't make sense? So that way we can still kind of keep our values and keep our mission top of mind. So we're definitely going to do that, and we're going to strengthen our efforts by leaning on the newly acquired knowledge of our new peers at Akamai. So we definitely want to tap into their experiences and see what lands for us. And of course, we're just going to continue to keep learning and keep doing what we're doing, which is solving customer problems and making customers happy, and see where that takes us. But we want to go for gold. 2023, we're coming for you.
You mentioned feedback from judges. Is there any feedback that you can share with us?
A big piece of feedback that we got was, how do you actually measure up in the industry? And I think that we've long kind of thought of like, well, as long as we focus on what we're doing, right, we don't necessarily need to look at what maybe others in the industry are doing. And I think that that's starting to change. Maybe not necessarily in how we approach our day-to-day, but just the big picture and how we can kind of compare and contrast and see what those blind spots are again. So yeah, I think that that's probably the biggest bit of feedback is, okay, so you're doing this and it all sounds great, but actually how does that compare to others in your industry?
I, of course, want to talk about Akamai acquisition or merger or partnership. Depends on how people look at it, because the culture is same. The way you folks work is also kind of like, it looks like you're complementing each other. So tell me, what is going to be the impact of this acquisition on Linode's customer experience? You talked about goals. So talk about, how is it going to further improve the customer experience at Linode?
What has really encouraged us in the beginning and address some of the anxiety that obviously shows up whenever a new corporate presence kind of enters in, is that Akamai really has bought in on Linode's approach to its customers. The way we support our customers, our mission, in internal communications, they really only changed like one word to Linode's mission, and that was to add the word scale to it. So it's really important for us to see and see every day the folks from Akamai follow through on the promise that they're not here to do any harm or detract from Linode's proven model. They basically just want to augment it and improve it and scale it up, and combine forces. So it's super encouraging to see.
Cassie, Joe, thank you so much for taking time out today, and not only share what kind of made you once again a winner in many categories at Stevie Awards, but also share, most importantly, how you look at your customers, because in the end what matters is that how your customers feel, how all of us feel, right? So that's the real story there. So thanks for sharing those. And as you rightly said, that next year let's aim for the gold, and we'll see who are there. So I'd love to have you back on the show again, but thanks for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.